How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about PROG stock. It did end up having a pullback overall, but there definitely was some trading opportunities. I told you guys, pay attention what happens inside of the pre-market. And on top of that, make sure you're not buying at the highs. This is very important. We also did have a lot of volatility towards the end in the market overall. Many stocks came down and PROG was impacted by this. I'll talk about it further. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to have a good idea of what the game plan should be going into tomorrow if you're going to be looking to get into this stock. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. The reason why this is important, because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as for the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for PROG stock. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $4.45, being down 9% on the day. On the low, it tested $4.37, and then on the high, testing $5.23. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 77.346 million shares, and then for the average volume over 10 trading days, being at 101.467 million shares. So you could tell right away we ended up having below average volume, and we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure, and it's part of the reasons why we had the performance that we had today. Now, when we take a look now at our daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it was right around 61.46. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here, we have strength above the 100-day, as well as for the 50-day, the 200-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA, maintaining the strong uptrend. So we did end up closing at $4.45, which is not too bad whatsoever, because it still puts us in this range of consolidation. But inside of the after hours, I took a quick look and I saw that we actually ended up dipping down all the way to $3.45 before actually buyers started jumping in. And as you can see at the time of this recording, with the stock being at $4.21. So many people are saying, hey, gaps don't have to be filled. And I'm telling you right now, most of the time, and I'm going to say at least 90% of the time, gaps get filled, and that's what happened inside of the after hours. So taking into consideration the way how PROG performed today, we're going to want to see a continuation of support holding here right at the $4 level. If we end up breaking through $4, then of course, like I said, I want to see some strength being at $3.50. Once we break through $3.50, that's when I would say, you know what, the play is not looking as strong, but it still looks good because it shows that we're still above the 200-day and we would have further consolidation, getting ready for that potential next move up. Now, bullish case scenario, what we want to look for, we end up seeing a high of $5.23. So you're going to want to see some strength above this level, and if we're able to actually get above it, that's where I look forward to seeing a move to $5.50 and then reaching all the way over here to $5.82. So now that you have an idea of what PROG is looking like, let's see what it does going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for PROG. So the dark pool short volume ratio is at 53.46%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 35.99 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 100,000, updated 21 minutes ago. And then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 62.50%. So that has been going down quite a bit, because I know we saw it used to be in that 70% range. We saw it in the high 60s, and now it's down to 62.5. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 18th, it was at 45.84. And then for the close for the Friday that just passed, it was at 53.46. So one thing that is clear, PROG still continues to have short squeeze potential, and it'll be very interesting to see what the numbers will be later on in the evening. Now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for PROG. So you can see here on the inflow, it was 70.07, and then on the outflow, it was 70.63. So we ended up having an outflow day, but it was fairly close. Now, when we take a look at the breakdown, we had 1.45 on the large, On the medium, we had 47.68, and then on the small, we had 20.94. When we take a look at the outflow side, on the large, it was 3.55. Then on the medium, it was 48.20, and then on the small, it was 18.88. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today it being negative outflow of 2,101.52. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, you can see on the small scale side, which tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. Still a good amount of selling though. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the large, again, we had more selling than we had buying, which potentially could be coming from institutions. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 50.26%. So what this tells us right away, there are many traders who are going in and out of this play, and this is why there's so much volatility. And this is why you also need to have a game plan before you jump in it. You should not be buying into this blindly. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for PROG stock, the first thing that I want to talk about is the gap fill. When I was putting these videos together, I realized in the after hours, it ended up having a dip to $3.45. And we know to actually fill in that gap, it is right around $3.50. But one thing to keep in mind as far as pre-market and as well as for the after hours, it's a different beast altogether when we go into the market open because we have a lot more volume. So that is one thing I wanted to make sure that you are aware about. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So that's why if you have a lot of buying pressure and there's a lot of volume coming into the stock, we can look forward to seeing some strong moves to the upside. I also want you guys to be aware, right now we have a continuation of consolidation. Hey, that actually rhymes. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're trying to go in and out of this play, be aware of that range. Many people have said, and I've already cleared them out on this channel, that this stock will not see $5. It saw $5 again this morning. It got to $5.23. So when you see that opportunity and you're a trader and you don't want to spend a lot of time inside of a play, do not, and I'm going to repeat, do not be greedy. Take those profits. We saw it pull back inside of the pre-market. It was at $4.75. So that's a big time move from $4.75. And if you wanted to sell even at $5.20 or $5.15, it also depends on the number of shares you're purchasing, of course. You just want to make sure you have a strategy overall, and that's what I'm really trying to communicate. If you're going to be buying and holding, then you need to make sure that you're not buying at the top. No one wants to be holding bags. And also, when it comes to your money overall in general, you want to make sure you get a return on your investment and you're not giving up a lot of opportunity costs. So what do I mean by this? So if you have a lot of money in a play that is not moving, or maybe you are down, you are missing out on other plays that you could be taking advantage of. So you need to make sure, as far as the amount of time you spend in a play, it is the right decision that you are making in order to see the right returns on your investments and so on. But overall, in general, I am still bullish when it comes to this play due to the fact, in regards to the technicals, things still look good. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.